Hey everyone, Mac is back. Today I want to talk about the Maester's Tower, where we do our research, right over here. And in the Maester's Tower, we will have all that research that for you at the beginning of the game. I want to go over that, kind of where you need to focus on that research, based on kind of what your objectives are and kind of what you want to do. Just kind of gives you a better idea of, you're not wasting research and power on certain things, so you try to keep it kind of together as best you can. Let's get to it. So starting in the Maester's Tower, you can see that there are a bunch of different places you can go to do some research. And from the very beginning of this research, if you're a fighter, you're going to think, all right, I want to go straight to the military and I just want to get this thing up as fast as I possibly can. The game will direct you how to do some of this, but production will be a big portion of that. And the reason is because you'll need to do this building speed will help you quite significantly. But not just that, but these other ones as well: the grain production, the stone production, the wood production, and the iron production. Plus, you'll have these resource gathering speed. So when you're out there gathering, the diamond prospecting, if you're when you're trying to gather some of those diamonds, which clearly you don't want to upgrade, you don't need to upgrade that quickly. But one of the bigger one is the expedition and pacification. So when you first are starting the game at the beginning, the production one is one you're going to want to do, fairly, one of the ones you're going to do first. Avoid the city defense and the advanced defense. Those are the two that you want to avoid, because all they're going to do is increase your power for no reason, at least at this point in the game, until they change the mechanics of defense, because they're just very expensive. Not expensive, don't really help you that much. When it comes to the expedition pacification, the reason that you want to have this, you want to complete this entire research tree at some point, is you increase your power, increase your the drops from the rebel leaders. So you can, right here, you research the very first one, and you're able to attack rebel leaders, where you can get diamonds and equipment to be able to upgrade your lord. So it's very good to be able to do that. Then you come down here and you get motivation recovery. You also get your motivation limit increase. You also get your motivation cost reduction, so decrease. So this is very good as well. It just makes it easier for you to be able to kill those rebel leaders. So that's basically from the very beginning what you're going to want to do through that production tree. Work on that expedition and pacification to a certain point too. I mean, you get it to a certain point. You don't have to complete it right away, but that's something you're going to want to do in the beginning of the game. And then the military one that's the one you kind of want to do after that. Or kind of simultaneously, depending on how you want to do it. If you're not much of a fighter and you just want to be gathering, or you're more of a casual player and you don't want to push it too hard, too fast, because in here is where you're going to be unlocking those base stats that you're going to need throughout the game. So like infantry attack, all your attacks 135%, all your attacks here, and your defense is 135. Then you can unlock those veteran soldiers. So this is where you'll be able to get those tier 2s, and then you click a little bit further. That's where you get the health, and then you get up here to those tier 3s, which are a lot better. And then you get into the army, the total attacks here: total defense, total attack, and total health. And then your tier 4s are the very last one. And with those tier 4s, you really have to have all of your production done to get the tier 4s, all except for the diamond prospecting. So all of this production has to be done prior to getting those tier 4s, and that's why it's kind of important to finish that production tree first before you're looking to those tier 4s. And obviously, and if you didn't know this as well, you'll have to get those buildings. Work on those too. And if you, like I said, this building mastery, this 50% will help you extremely well from the beginning of the game, because you're trying to get those buildings increased, upgraded as fast as you possibly can. And it can be difficult. If you spend a lot of time in the game, you can do it a lot quicker, obviously. And the game has actually come to a point where if you're at the very beginning, you can move along in the game much faster than like when I started a few years ago. So that's very good to get. And then once you finish that, and this is kind of more for that mid-game aspect, finish off once you get tier 4 open, right here at the end of the military tree, make sure this expedition pacification gets almost completely. You don't have to do the level 5, because if you're not going to be attacking them right away, you might not want to do that. But this chivalry here, the motivation limit increase, is very nice, because if you're away from the game for, say, a decent amount of time, maybe a day, and you didn't get back to it, then having this limit there, so you'll have that extra motivation to be able to attack some more rebel leaders. Or like I said, advanced defense, we're not going to go there. Advanced military is not bad, because you're looking at a cost reduction for each one of your troops, plus you're looking at the hospital healing speed, which is ridiculously good for fighters. You're looking at marching speed, again, very good. And then you get up into here where where you're going to want to push a little bit to try to get some equipments. You can save 10 of those. Troop formations, you get 5 of those, and then you also can get one of those extra deployments, which is a nice little addition as well. Training speed is very nice. These are expensive. These are very expensive to be able to get them. I can't show you because I don't have them, but they're very good. The talent archives as well, and then eventually you can get up here where you can get these cost reduction for your tier 4s, which are really good, because they're super expensive, so you need that reduction to be able to make a bunch of those. And then when it comes to the new procedures, there's 2 of them in this in the advanced military. There's new procedures 1 here, which is another deployment, and once you finish the tier 4s, you can actually get an extra one on top of that. And there's an 8. If you're new to the game, there's 8 total deployments you can get. You'll start off with 4. Yeah, you upgrade your castle, you'll get 5, and then there's 3 more here in the research that you can do. Formations will be one you want to look into as well, and the reason the formations, you don't really care about this beginning stuff. Maybe the training mastery, because 16% actually isn't that much. But here are your formations that you're going to unlock. So if you're looking for that spear infantry, your cav spear, and then you continue on a little bit further. Where are they? Here they are: infantry spear, spear cav, and your cav infantry. So once you get those are really good to come to this point and then stop, unless you need that 3rd procedure. So this is another deployment, but to get past that, you'll have to get all these army defense and army attack and army health upgraded. They're very gold heavy, so they're going to cost you a lot of gold to be able to get to there. And then you get beyond that, these are even more as well, and they really are increase your power significantly for only the minimal amount of stats that you do get. I guess if I could go back, maybe I wouldn't get these. It's just something to consider in the end there, because there's so much. If you're moving from kingdom to kingdom, it's going to cost you a lot of scrolls if you have that increased power. Moving down a little bit further, there's commandership here, which gives you more capacity for all your resources, especially your gold, which is very nice to have. The shelter capacity of 50,000 is a nice one to get. Stamina limits, it's okay, I guess. Spoils conversion, you don't really care about that. These are all for rebel camps. You're hoping that maybe they could get an army size, but that's just for your rebel camps. So you can add 50,000 for that. Those are decent as well. The Iron Bank, that's nice. I had a previous video about the how to get blue diamonds. This adds 5,000 to that. Motivation limit can go up a little bit, so this is kind of piggybacking off the expedition and pacification that we just previously talked about, because you can get these, and this actually increases attack and rebel suppression. These are all rebel camps. There's nothing to do with PvP. And then you get further, you get the many-faced god duration of plus 360, and at the very end here you get a fervor, attack, health, and defense. Those are nice. And the very last one, you're looking at Lord Talent Points. You can get 10 of those, which will actually help you increase your stats. Refinement is one you're going to look at kind of mid-game as well, because if you want to, and the refinement, you just want to increase a little bit. So increase the crafting speed here, and then do these first 3. And then once you're done with those first 3, go back to something else that you were doing before. Go back to maybe your formations, you weren't finished there, or maybe some commandership, because you're probably that far along at that point, because then you're going to have to upgrade these completely. Or not even completely, just probably completely, because that would make more sense to try to upgrade those. And then once you are able to do that, then you can kind of move on to some of these other ones and just gradually kind of do it. And at the very end of this, you have the Badge Master, which unlocks that 4th badge slot, which is very good. And you also have the Badge Planning, which is the pre-edit configurations, which are absolutely a necessity when it comes to attacking. Iron Defense is really not that good. Completely avoid this unless you are in unless you have bows, because I mean even like siege attack reduction 20% actually isn't too bad. So if you don't have bows, siege attack reduction is actually not bad, because if your castle's getting attacked, it reduces there by 20%. But other than that, you would maybe keep going and get the bows up here, because it's an extra 135% attack, health, and defense just for the bows. The rest isn't very good. The enhanced defense here, so you can max defense troops. That's only if you're tanking, and you'll decide that later on in the game if you're going to do that. Great City Military, not really that great to upgrade. You can see I have a little bit in here. Not sure I want to do this, because great cities are just the big cities, and that's where you can get extra stats for that. You get an extra 10% of these health, attack, and defense, but is it really worth it? Probably not. And you get some extra training, speed as well, 10%. It's really not worth the amount of power that you're going to have to get here. Now, rally size wouldn't be too bad. I mean, you're talking an extra 500,000 rally size, so in like KVK or Champion City Siege, something like that. These extra, and there's 500,000. There's actually 1 million, so you get another 500,000 here too if you get that. But it's a super increase in power, and it's tough to move between, like I said, kingdoms without a lot of scrolls. And then the most recent one that they added was a strangely garbled army. So this is the tier 5. What you want to do initially, and something I'm still struggling to do, you can see here, is you want to get this ancient foundry unlocked as soon as you can. It does take a lot of these research scrolls here, or not research scrolls. They're I don't even actually know what they're even called. Something like that. They're these books. They're not maybe they are called research scrolls, but you know what I'm talking about. These research scrolls here, to be able to get this ancient foundry unlocked, because this the Valyrian steel just takes a really long time to be able to outfit your tier 5s, which are here at the very end. You can see just unlocking them, you're looking at a 4 million power increase, so 4 times 4 is 16 million increase just from unlocking those, which is going to take a really long time to be able to do that. And you can see the resources actually don't take that much, but 593 of those books, that's really crazy. So just kind of recap, get that production tree done, work on the expedition path pacification at the very beginning, then you can get that military, get those tier 4s unlocked, and start training them. Once you get that, finish off that expedition pacification, because you won't have it completely taken care of until completely done until you do those tier 4s. Then once you're finished with that, skip the defense ones, don't need those. Advanced military is nice, excuse me, and the formations and commandership have a few good things in there that you want to get as well. Refinement, just kind of incrementally do that once you get to this kind of later game. And iron defense only if you have the bows, if you want to get those. Great City Military, avoid that. You actually need these other type of books for them as well, which you get the VIP shop. Then the strangely garbed army, you want to try to get those gradually as you can, because they cost these little books as well, different type of books that you have to use for the Great City Military. And again, you can get them in the VIP once you get your VIP level up to a certain point. So I hope this gives you a little idea of what to do in the Maester's Tower, especially if you are in the beginning of the game, and then a little bit as you're getting to that mid game and late game too. But the beginning of the game is kind of one of the most important to get it through very quickly. So till next time, Mac out.